Everyone got stuck.
Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Trish.
Mrs. Brew?
Here.
Mr. Kramer?
Here.
Mr. Menegini?
Here.
Mr. Moraro?
Here.
Mr. Pop?
Motion that we excuse Mr. Pop.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. We'll move on to approval of the agenda. Is there any questions on the agenda? If not, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 15th, 2023. Is there any questions? If not, do I have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 15th, 2023.
Support.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Approval of manifest 2023-07. Right?
I have no questions.
Did I not include the executive minutes? I didn't include it in the agenda, but I think I put it in.
Oh, you had the closed session in the binders, but
I forgot to add it on the minutes here, Grant, you know. It's not a big deal, we can put them on the next agenda.
the closed session minutes?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
March 15th. I did include them to everybody, but I don't have it on.
Yeah, they're in their binder, they're not on the agenda.
We can decide in the next meeting.
Just for cleanliness, yeah,
Yeah.
just consistency.
Yeah, since we already approved the agenda. Jeff, did you have any questions?
None tonight, Madam Mayor.
Rico?
Done.
Can I see yours for a minute? For some reason, I must have left mine home. I have a question on it.
What's the, oh,
Here.
Thank you. I had, one question. Under transmission and distribution, Amazon Capital Service wireless earbuds and charging case for head.
Yeah, so that is when the linemen are pulling lines, that they can talk wirelessly when they get calls.
Okay. I was wondering what that was for, because I never seen that on there before.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve manifest 2023-07 in the amount of $311,168.24. Support.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Did we have any previous questions?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I didn't think so, but.
I'll check it. I'll check it.
Sure.
Public comment, anyone in audience wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comment shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. Public comment, agenda item, anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on an agenda item only shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comment shall be limited to 3 minutes. We have no one, so we'll move on to appointments and presentations. Item number 1, Crossroads Alliance, Norway Balkan Women's Club Spaghetti Dinner Fundraiser Temporary Sign Request. Mr. Stoltman.
So I'll just, one quick correction, we don't have any appointments or presentations, and so this is our, item number 1 is our first action item. Just, there's no there, that's
Oh, okay.
So we have, what do we have here? 5 total items for special events. This is just the first one. Not much to really say about these events. I don't know much about them. This one mostly is about sign placement. I've run these through Public Works and Police. We don't see any issue. I believe this is a reoccurring, Trish, event.
Most of these are
I think-
reoccurring
yeah.
events.
They are
I think there's
all-
one or two in here that may be new, but,
One's new.
yeah, so I don't think there's any concerns.
What I'll do is I'll go through them. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, we'll make a motion. So, the Crossroads Alliance temporary sign request from the Norway Balkans Women's Club. Do I have a motion? Is there any questions? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the applicant's request.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Medini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. Item number 2, special event, citywide rummage sales. This is for sure a yearly one. It brings a lot of people into our community. Do I have a motion or any questions first?
Do we have anything on the books or anything about, it seems like that one-day event is kind of creeping into Friday, and they even, sometimes it might even start creeping into Thursday. Just create some unique situations, especially if it's happening on Fridays now. I'm thinking about my buses, my kids, school, businesses, things like that are letting out. Seems like there's a lot of action in town on Fridays as well, which is fine.
Right.
Those signs can go up on Thursday.
Yeah,
Looks like
I guess
it,
I didn't look at it if they're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Thursday through Sunday at 6. they got
And I
it
guess
pulled
it's
out.
at their discretion. It's really, what they're asking for is,
Signs.
for the Saturday and the signage and stuff like
Okay.
that I read through it.
Yeah.
But if people wish to open Thursday, Friday,
Yeah. Well,
they
maybe.
could have a rummage sale any
Yeah.
day.
Well, maybe we could, true, but maybe we could just add, in the future, not now, but maybe just in the future, we could have them post it like that, hey, it starts at 3 PM on Friday, and runs all day Saturday, just to give the people the heads up, the expectation
Yeah.
of, it's gonna get
You
crazy.
worried about safety for the kids, is that what your concern is?
Kids, schools, businesses, there's a reason it's done on a Saturday and not on a Friday, but it seems like it's creeping into Fridays a lot.
Is that where you just have a lot of people starting there?
Well, yeah, if the signs go up on Thursday, people are, they're gonna come down early and try to get the best of the pickings. It's just
And I
the
mean,
way
it
it
ain't
works.
all of them that open. There's
Right.
quite a few, but
Yeah. It just seems like there's
I don't know how.
More
to
and more.
Regulate.
I mean, some
Because they're only
places-
sponsoring the Saturday thing.
I'm
so
not
these-
saying regulate, I'm just saying post it and advertise it as,
Saturday
Yes.
event.
Well, it is.
or
Sunday after 3, I think he's saying, right?
Friday
Friday,
after
sorry,
3.
Friday
I'm
after
saying advertise it as a Friday after 3 kind of event, just to give people the heads up.
And I think they don't do that, Rico, and I get where you're
Yeah.
going with this, just because really the city only sponsors Saturday. They,
Okay.
if the ones wanna open earlier, that they're really on their own with that.
I do appreciate you bringing it up there, Rick, because I know one thing, the parking lot we have there, but Bob and I share, that gets, people really wanna just park there and go rummaging, it's
Right.
like, and when it's during business hours, it is kind of disruptive. They got Main Street, that's fine, I get that, but, I'd like to keep them out of the private parking lots anyways.
I mean, I can look, I don't know if we have any on the books specifically about garage sales. Some places do require permit for any garage sale. I don't know if we do.
No, we don't.
But,
Yeah, that'd be a nice
It
definition.
just being part of the, DDA, cause they sponsor this, I know, they're really only sponsoring Saturday. And then, if you read in here, half the people don't even wanna give the $5
yeah.
for the signs, so then they'll just have one and we don't know how to regulate that either.
Well, I mean, we could,
I agree,
if people are
actually.
putting up
I don't
a
like-
personal sign,
Should be Friday, or should
and
be
it's not on
Saturday.
their property, we can deal with that.
Right.
I mean, that's why you get special event permit and permission to put signs up in places that aren't private property. So if Just puts up a garage sale sign that is not part of that event on a right of way, we can address that.
Are you insinuating I'm a rule breaker?
Yes.
Okay.
Not insinuating, recognize it.
But we can kind of look into that, and maybe Rico, you and I can talk
And-
offline about kind of
And I
what.
think really what they're asking for,
Well, I guess when you look at what Rico's concerns are, the number one bullet point is we just don't approve the Thursday signs.
Yeah,
We don't approve it until Friday at 3 PM.
yeah. Because I would like to add again now that, you know, people need to start respecting the private parking areas, you know, they're, just, even if we could say something in the announcement saying, hey, look, you know, please stick to parking in public parking places, you know, not people's driveways and, you know,
I
yards.
didn't mean to turn this into this.
No,
It's okay.
Because now we're talking about a couple
No.
issues. You're talking about business issues, you're talking about private property issues. I'm talking about safety issues, you
Well, you
know?
actually said
I just want to
safety
give everyone
business.
a heads up that, hey,
It's gonna get
it can get crazy on Friday with the
Well,
amount of pre-sales going
I
on.
mean, we could do some basic, I'll call it advertising, but Facebook, newsletter, just remind people that this is the actual physical day for the event. Maybe a reminder that if you're selling, your personal signs have to be on your property. And actually, I think you might even need a permit for that, like, but we could do
no,
some
you don't
sort
need a
of.
permit for a run.
I like Brett's point. Why are signs going up before 3 o'clock on Friday?
Just,
It's a Saturday event,
they're asking for Thursday, we just
Why?
don't approve
Just say no.
Thursday, move it to Friday.
Yeah,
that's all. Then it take, you know, put them up with 3, they can go up 3 o'clock on Friday.
It'll stop a lot of the stuff that, you know,
Yeah.
Rico's concerns and your concerns
Yeah.
about.
Yep,
that we can do.
All right,
I
so
like it.
we say 3 o'clock Friday.
yep. How do we motion that, Grant?
Just change
Just change it?
the
Council,
Thursday.
council, I motion to approve Fridays from, signs from 3 PM on Friday through 6 PM on Sunday.
Sport.
There we go.
Mr. Menini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes,
Mr. Kramer?
Yes,
but this doesn't stop them from putting up their own signs on their private
Correct.
property.
yeah. These are just the ones they're asking for.
Right.
Hold on, I'm just looking at the, that's May, right?
Yeah, May, it'll be the 19th, Friday the 19th
Yeah, she
through
wrote
Sunday
it
the
on
21st.
19th.
Yeah, that's what's on here. It's the 19th through, this can't be.
You guys
She had the
copied
18th.
it, so-
It is, it does say the 19th.
Yeah.
On her.
I think, so, yeah, we filled this out for them, so we, this is basically what happened since, to make sure it got in in time. So I'm guessing what this really is,
Okay, 518.
so they probably wanted a 518. We're saying 519 through, because there's only one,
3 PM on the 19th through 6 PM on the 21st.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is Sunday. Yeah. So really, based on this, it's, the change would be to the 21st instead of the 22nd. So 519 through 521, starting at 3 PM on Friday.
On that Friday.
And ending at 6 PM on that Sunday.
Yeah.
And normally, do we post listings of the do-nots on polls or that kind of stuff? Can we post that or put it on the,
To not post on polls?
To not post.
Yeah, we can kind of do a whole,
I mean, even on the
Public,
city channel,
yeah.
just, you know, the rules
Yeah.
are.
Facebook, city channel,
Yeah.
get it out there.
so just post
So we
kind of
can
the
say
rules.
it's been posted.
All right, we'll move on to special event, the Vulcan Norway Lions Club Community Picnic. Everybody knows this goes on every year at Marion Park. Is there any questions on this? It's another great thing for our community. Do I have a motion?
Motion on special event application of Lions Club annual picnic be approved.
Sport.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menini?
Yes.
Special event Tour de Uper Bike Ride?
So I think this is.
This is the new one.
Yeah, I think this is a new one, and it sounds like they really just, Trish, correct me if I'm wrong, you spoke with them, but they just really want to rent the pavilion.
Right, the small one. The
Yeah.
large is actually being rented already for use. It's
So,
just
yeah.
a small one, so they have a little stop to get some water if they want it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an event, but yeah, it's just the use of the pavilion.
Which will also be part, is it part of using our bike trails too, or is it a
No,
little
I think
different?
it's
This
a
is
road.
just the
It's a
road
road.
race. Okay. It's all right, it's still a good thing.
Do I have a motion?
Motion special event application Tour de Youp A be approved.
Support.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Special event DIDHD Annual Breastfeeding Awareness Walk. I know they do this every year around Strawberry Lake.
Yeah, they did it last year. No issues.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the application for the Dickinson Iron District Health Department annual breastfeeding awareness week walk.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. We'll move on to our resolutions. Most of these, we have a couple of maybe new ones here, but most of these are, we do every year too. So we'll start with Resolution 2023-02, National Lineman Appreciation Day. Do I have a motion?
My motion, resolution 2023-02 be approved, designating April 18th, 2023 as National Lineman Appreciation Day in the city of Norway.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
National Arbor Day, Resolution 2023-03.
I motion resolution 2023-03 be approved, designating April 28th, 2023 as Arbor Day in the great city of Norway.
Support.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes,
Rico, we should talk about Arbor Days at school once.
absolutely.
Resolution 2023-04, National Bike Month, Weekend Day.
It's a long one.
Just a long one. Who wants it?
I move that the city council and the city of Norway recognize the month of May 2023 as National Bike Month, week of May 15th to 21st as Bike to Work Week, Friday, May 19th as Bike to Work Day, and Wednesday, May 3rd as Bike to School Day, made by the attached resolution 2023-04 to encourage all residents to give bicycling a try.
Support. Nice job, Rico.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Hopefully, we'll be snow-free.
Yes. Hopefully. Resolution 2023-05, Drinking Water Week.
I motion that the city council of the city of Norway recognize May 7th through May 13th as Drinking Water Week by passing the attached resolution 2023-05 and to encourage all residents to become aware of our most valuable resource,
Support.
gold, water.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. And I'd like to mention, we've had our water tested in different places and checked, and our water usually always comes up number one for taste and the quality of water that Norway puts out, so that's something to be proud of. Resolution 2023-06, National Police Week and Peace Officers Memorial Day.
Make a motion that the city council of the city of Norway recognize May 15th through the 21st as National Police Week and May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day by passing attached resolution 2023-06.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr.
A
Morales?
resounding yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. Resolution 2023-07, National Public Works Week.
Make a motion that city council, or make a motion that the city of Norway recognize May 21st through May 27th as National Public Works Week by passing the attached resolution 2023-07.
Support.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Blue?
Yes?
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menke?
Yes.
And it's too bad that wasn't coming this week because the Public Works should have been
Yes.
recognized this week after the great job they did getting out there and trying to get all the roads cleaned and the snow cleaned up.
No doubt.
Ordinance 453. Oh, I missed one, didn't I? No, no, I did it.
Nope, that's
Ordinance
all
453, amending ordinance 443, marijuana enactment ordinance. Mr. Stoltman.
So we have two of these back to back. So what this is I think I've kind of discussed once as we started to look at the actual process to issue marijuana licenses. What I discovered is that we had marijuana as a permitted by right use with attached also as a conditional use. Those are opposing zoning uses. So Planning Commission had their public hearing last week. Or was it this week?
This week.
This week?
Was it?
Or last week.
Last Thursday.
They had the public hearing to discuss making the change either way to a fully permitted use as we believe was intended, or making the change to conditional. Their recommendation is to make it permitted. And all the conditional use parts of that are already regulated through the state and also in our chapter 10 of marijuana. I don't see a need for a conditional use for this. So what we have is a resolution that basically eliminates the 1319, the conditional use section, any references to conditional use, special use, all of those things, and making it a permitted, as we believe intended to do. So this first ordinance is, let's see, find the actual.
So we need to approve this ordinance or repeal this ordinance or
You're
amend this
going- You're going
ordinance?
to approve ordinance 453.
If we want it to
If
be
you
permitted?
If you want to make it a permitted.
Okay.
The recommendation from the planning commission and the city manager is that, and our attorney is that we do that.
Permit.
Correct.
And as a bit of history for the council, this came, when we started going through this process, as I've talked to council before, the 453 here is referencing the enacting ordinance, let's go through the enacting of the process. And then the other one that Dan's referencing, the ordinance number 454 references the zoning issue. We were going through the actual, to the point of issuance or to the point of actually implementing this. And as I've mentioned before, going through it, it's been a process. But we came to council, I think it was a year ago actually, and Mr. Anderson recognized that there was an issue with conditional versus permitted. The council approved it to be and referenced it as a permitted use, and then referenced it pursuant to some conditions. And the conditions were placed in the conditional use section, which following it, without getting into all the details, we had
Muddy
gone
the
through,
waters.
yeah, we had gone through a 2-year QPAD assisted renovation, if you will, and redo of our ordinances. And there was some other language in there that referenced the conditional use, permitted use, but with conditions. And we looked at it and it seemed to make sense. You guys approved it as a permitted use, but we referenced these conditions. And once we started going through the process and looking at it, Dan looked at it a little more carefully as well and started the implementation of it. And then we started looking a little bit deeper into it. It just, and I followed up and talked to QPAD as well. It reads clunky. It doesn't make sense. So it's a cleanup, and it's making sure everything is consistent, clear. So this first reference here is on the enacting ordinance itself, and it cleans up and gets rid of any references to the, conditional uses and references permitted use instead.
I read through them, Grant, so all you need us is to amend these? We don't
You just
have to do
adopt,
anything else?
adopt ordinance number 453, which addresses the previous ordinance.
Oh, so we gotta adopt 453 and then
And
amend?
454.
No, just adopt ordinance number 453, which is amending
Yeah.
the
Okay.
previous ordinance.
Yeah.
And then the next one, the council would have, again, you've already
Adopt.
You've already
decision.
adopted
Yeah.
the permitted
It says
use.
on here,
I'm just
decision
looking for the
is-
verbiage is all.
Yeah, the decision has been made that we want
Yeah.
permitted use.
It's clean,
So-
it's cleanup.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the council would approve ordinance number 453, which has the effect of amending the prior.
Gotcha.
And then council would adopt ordinance number 454, which has the effect of amending the previous.
So we don't need a separate.
You
One-
should motion both.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
then
That's
motion
what I
both, yeah.
thought,
I'd like
but the
them
way it was
separate.
written, I was confused about that, you know, because it was all,
First one or second one?
should've said amend,
First one.
and then go with this one.
Right.
So you
And
want-
just, and again, I was looking through the paperwork again for the fourth time as we got ready for tonight and last week. You know, the language that's in these proposed ordinances, it's all there before. This isn't anything new. This is just cleaning up the way it
Yep.
reads, cleaning up the way it's presented, so it's easier for both,
Right here,
not enforcement per se, but easier for the applicants, easier for the public, and, you know, I don't know if we'll ever go down that road again.
I mean, yeah, it's-
But it just makes it cleaner as we continue on and finalize this process.
Ordinance 453, which is amending ordinance 443. I don't know.
I think you have to have two motions on that, the amending, right? We should amend here, well, this one, and then adopt this.
You're gonna adopt two ordinances.
I know, but I'm just saying, to start, wouldn't you do the amendment first, then adopt 453?
If you,
Because that only makes sense to split it. 'cause you
but
don't-
ordinance number 453 amends,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, by adopting 453.
or 453
It's-
amends within the language of 453.
Yeah, it
amends
gets rid
the
of that
language of
conditional
453.
use
Okay.
thing.
So it's inherent within
So
the ordinance
together,
itself.
okay.
So if the council approves, does a motion to approve ordinance 453 within the language of that, there's language amending the prior.
Gotcha.
Okay, now I get it. So you want that in the ordinance, though?
Just a motion to approve ordinance number 453, if that's council's pleasure.
So you don't want to amend ordinance 443?
No,
No.
approving 453 will essentially amend that ordinance to,
And replace it.
yeah, and replace it.
Correct.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move to approve marijuana ordinance 453.
Support.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes?
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menadini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
And the next agenda item references ordinance 454, which is the zoning aspect of it, which, as Mr. Stoltman referenced, we had all these conditional use conditions, if you will, within the zoning, and the zoning had said permitted use with conditions, referencing the conditions. The conditions have been eliminated and incorporated into the ordinance itself, just again for cleanliness, and it references the permitted use. Also, I think it should be noted, just because of what we found with the language on the conditions, the permitted use with conditions, we did find two other, and it's just, again, it's housekeeping. Under section 312, permitted principal uses, two-family dwelling and multiple family dwelling, it made those same similar references to conditions. And again, don't think it's appropriate to have permitted uses with conditions. So the language includes in this proposed ordinance number 454, does strike that language referencing the subject to the requirements of section 1319. It just will be removed, so it's all consistent again as well.
Do I have a motion?
Yes, I motion that the council approve ordinance number 454.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menadini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. Move on to number 14, school resource officer, Mr. Stoltman.
So this is, I think, moving along quite well. Chief Wilkie and I had another meeting with the school superintendent. I told him that I would work up kind of a formal agreement that kind of lays everything out. I don't have that yet. Grant was on vacation and I was gone, so he and I haven't sat down to kind of work this out. But really, I just want to make sure that, you know, what we're looking at is that remaining 50%, splitting that remaining cost with the school. The superintendent believes that his board is agreeable to that, so the state picks up 50%, and there's that 50% remaining. What we kind of think how it's will work is during the school year that officer is there full-time, we will split, that cost. And then in the off-season, likely, and this is negotiable, but in those few months of summer vacation, when he's back working for the city full-time, we would likely pick up the entire 50%. Now, that's negotiable between you guys and the school. That's just kind of where we had.
Well, I think we should just go 50-50, because they'll be doing more for the school in the months that
They
they're
will,
there.
100%.
So I think that makes up the difference for your 3 years out. Plus, they probably are gonna have to go there early, like the teachers or whatever. I'm sure they're gonna have things they need to work on for the school year coming up.
Agreed, Candy. Plus, you guys got your summer camps and things like that, correct? Basketball camps
I
and
was just about to say,
Yeah.
there's
They can
this
definitely-
myth that the school is empty June, July, and August.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that couldn't be farther from the
Yeah,
truth.
exactly. Yeah, I agree, Ken.
Okay, so we'll drop the 50% kind of all year round.
Yeah.
There's some other just,
Real quick, we
Yep.
got a number on that, just so we know
what the split would be.
what our take is in dollars and cents.
I wanna say it's like, the remaining 50 is probably 15 each.
15 each.
I think.
17
It was
is
something
what
like
we
that.
were kind of
Did we budget,
spitballing.
did we
Yeah.
budget it?
No.
No, this is
But
new.
we would
This will
budget
be
it,
in
we
the
would
new
in the
discount.
new
I
budget.
understand,
Because
correct.
this won't take effect till August.
Okay.
We will have some overlap with the new officer, because we have to get them in, depending who we get, if they need a recertification, if they need, there's classes for SROs, so we'll likely start them July 1st, probably the latest.
Hey, you gotta get them in.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tom Menard's retirement, in October,
you
so.
got two coming in.
They'll be, well, we're not having two. This
This will be-
SRO is replacing Tom. So we're adjusting our police officer schedules to basically be a person down during those off-season months. Because the reason why we're looking at that is, this is a 3-year grant. It's tough to hire a brand-new officer for a job that may not exist. So if we're just gonna replace Tom with this SRO, so in 3 years it doesn't continue, we just roll it back into the fold, and our budget has it.
There's too much demand out there right now to,
Okay.
30 years ago, maybe someone fresh out of an academy would jump on, well, 3 years is better than nothing.
Or somebody retired.
Or, but there's too much competition out
And
there right
even
now.
with the overlap
That makes sense.
with the new officer making less than Tom
That's
Menard
gonna-
and the
that's
school
gonna help our
picking up
budget.
50%, cost-wise,
And if
it'll
it's
likely
not
be
working,
a wash
we
against
can
those
always
savings.
reassess
and the overlap.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of other little, right now, I just wanna make sure that you guys were comfortable with the 50%, however you wanted to do that. We went over a lot of different, scenarios of when starting of the day with after-school events and flexing that officer schedule, so overtime isn't an issue, and how, so there's gonna be some other things in that agreement that we try to address and be very clear. But right now, I just wanted to start with the salary portion of it
Yeah.
before we move forward, because I feel like that's gonna be the biggest.
And I think we gotta get rolling on it.
Yep.
Like Rico said, we got, we might not find somebody right away.
Yeah,
So get
so
rolling.
it's posted right now,
Okay.
so it is
Okay.
posted.
Where,
MCOLs, the different, the actual police,
Okay.
where you would hope to find that individual. There's some that have expressed interest already, that were previous law enforcement doing, some federal security work that might be
I
interested.
just want to make sure it gets out in front of all the possible eyes
Yep.
that it can,
Yeah.
I think I've been pretty consistent with that. We want to get, not just people that'll fit in to our culture, but we want to get people that are going to add to our culture, improve our culture. So we need to let people know. So as long as we're pushing it out there in all the
Yeah, and-
applicable spots,
Yeah,
good.
those law enforcement sites, your chief association sites, those are state and national.
Northern Academy, all that kind of stuff. All right.
So
Thank you.
I'm hoping here, the next meeting or maybe the first meeting of the next month, we'll have a developed agreement that we can actually just get this ball moving.
I'd like to make a comment on this too. I think this is very important. I was on the school board for 13 years, and I think this is a plus. I felt like it could have been a plus that many years ago when I was on there. And with the things that are going on now in this country and the shootings that are happening, it's ridiculous. But if we got one step ahead, if we get, somebody in there too, I would like to see the guys get some kind of training too, if this is possible. Could you talk to Pat? Or maybe this summer they can do something where they can get into school.
Oh, yeah, we'll send him to like an SRO school.
But I mean, even our whole department.
Yep.
If we could get them all in the school to do a run-through, if this was possibly to happen, we might be a step ahead.
We just did one in October,
Yeah,
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
so we can do more active shooter.
active shooter training.
Yep.
So, I just really think it's important in the safety of our children and the people who work in the schools. This is one more plus to that side.
And we're hoping the officer, there's some like classes that he's gonna, I'll say teach at the school, some safety courses.
Or she,
Huh?
he or she.
He or she. The kind of the hope is that an officer in the school just continues to build a positive rapport with the kids. Seeing them as a figure that everyone can come up to if they have issues. And so there's a lot of good things that will come out of it. I hope with, the 3 years, either state funding is extended or we can come up with long-term funding for this. You don't want to see this go away, and I think this is a really good time for the community to see the value in that. So we need to look for funding in the future. They'll know the worth.
Right. And Rico, have you guys as a school, did any run-throughs if something like this is to happen? Tests?
Yeah, we do multiple tests a year, lockdown drills
Okay.
type tests in different levels. We have a
I know you
plan.
used to.
Like I said, this October training we had was an active shooter training it was one of our school in-service days. So I don't know if every Norway police officer was there, but a few of them along with state police, along with county. So it was a realistic simulation of this is what it's gonna sound like, this is what it's gonna look like, this is what you do. Yeah.
Okay. And I also got a comment, Scott couldn't be here tonight, but he also wanted to me to, say how supportive he is of this. He's been pushing for this too for a while. So I think it's really important for our community and for our school district to do this.
And I don't think I need a motion necessarily. This is kind of just an update to make sure you guys were still on the same page with everything. I'll make that note about the year round, and we'll get that agreement ready to go.
Okay, number 15, Peace Officer Memorial Donation Request, the Michigan State Police.
So I just received a letter in the mail. This year's Peace Officer Memorial is taking place at the Kingsford High School. And, they look for donations from businesses and others to help support that event. I talked to Chief Wilkie. It doesn't look like
I don't think we ever.
we have, and I don't know if they've ever received this letter. Previous chief, they've kind of, he's donated personal money and gone to businesses. I don't know if we have to. It's just that they sent me this. I looked at it and I thought I'd give you guys the opportunity to,
I don't,
assuming that there's anything, that's the one thing. I don't know if we
I
can.
don't think we can.
I don't think we can make that donation to them.
No.
Personally, we can, but as a council.
Yeah, and part of this was to just get it out there for anybody who is interested. We have it on the police Facebook that we'll be sharing on ours. But it just, I put it just came in the mail, so I wanted to give you the opportunity to see it.
Well, thank you for sharing that
Yeah,
with us.
thank you for sharing that.
So legally, we can't do that, do anything?
I think, without knowing more about it, I think it'd be likely an illegal expenditure. It starts opening a can of worms if you're making donations and.
Yeah.
Though it's, I was looking into this a little bit and I wanted to make a comment about it. I think it would be inappropriate to make the donation, but I think it's important for the community to know that this is a really important event honoring the past officers that
sure.
are out there and have gone, have lost loved ones. It's a pretty somber event. It's very, a lot of pomp and circumstance, if you will, and tradition. It's held May 18th at 9 a.m., starting at 9 a.m. at the Kingsford High School. So it's something that probably a lot of folks might be interested in attending.
I believe they do this every year, right? Wasn't
Yep.
it Manistee last year? And I think during COVID, because we have Mr. Maraska, who had passed away from our police force, I actually went out and did it right at the cemetery, spoke and stuff out there for them. So it is a good thing.
Yep, and we'll have 2 officers there for sure, for this. But yeah, we'll continue to push it on Facebook and stuff like that to see if anyone wants to donate.
Okay. We'll move on to mayor council comments. Brett?
AMI meters, I have a question about. There's, in the past couple of meetings, we've been talking about them, and how we all want to get them done, and I agree with that completely. But I'm curious if the financial advantage to hiring that out is worth it. I mean, how much are we seeing in a savings or, a financial benefit to justify the cost of a plumber, licensed plumber, at their cost? Is that justifiable?
I mean, from
we got how many AMIs in? 300, 400?
I know more, we got
We got-
over 1,100 left to go is really
Yeah.
the number.
But I mean, can we do a comparison of what that meters were reading and what we're gaining by?
I don't know if I don't think we'll really see a real financial benefit. Especially what the whole project cost. I don't know if it will. Of course, you won't have time reading. Will that equate to the cost of the meters and the installation? Unlikely. What you do get, you get the benefit of a more accurate read. Will that save water per se? I don't know.
Well, that's what it was sold on.
That's a bad,
And
that's a bad answer.
That is a bad answer, because that was what it was sold on.
We know you didn't sell it to us.
You
but-
didn't sell it to
right.
us, but it's very upsetting.
Yes.
I mean, this many years later, and the meters ain't in, that makes me crabby to start with, because I wasn't for this project. Now turn around and say it ain't worth putting the meters in.
Well, I don't wanna confuse that. I don't wanna say it's not worth it. I think that, we keep talking about hiring to do this. I just don't wanna see us spend thousands of dollars.
More,
putting these-
we're not gonna
putting
recoup
these
anything
AMIs
anyways.
in.
Exactly.
When there's no financial benefit.
Well, there should be a somewhat financial
I think
benefit.
there's certainly I've
Yeah,
sold this.
just to know what that amount is.
Yeah, I've sold this to every place I've been to. I mean, it's certainly a better system. It's a more accurate system. It tells you when leaks are happening. It tells you when your leak happens or yours or our mains. It is certainly a better system to have. I wouldn't tell anybody it's a bad idea. Do I know if there's
But it's more accurate.
a cost savings to equate to the cost of the total project? It's hard
What
to
Brett's
say.
saying is we don't wanna throw bad money after bad money at this point.
I don't think it's bad money.
Well, hang on.
bad money,
What we're saying is that if we can't quantify what this is gonna be in dollars and cents right now, what he's saying is that I would rather take another 3 years, do it in-house for people we're already paying labor to, instead of going and spending 20 or 30 or 40,000 more dollars, knowing that we may not recoup a dime of that. We don't know what
Yeah.
it's bad money after bad money at this point.
And you know, the same as Candy. I wanna see it get done, right? It's
I'm
been
not
out
saying it
there.
is for sure, but I think
Yeah.
that's what he's saying right now,
Right, exactly.
right?
Right,
Exactly.
and I just think it has to be done, because they're telling us, well, we're not getting the full, what we were supposed to save. You're supposed to be able to go on and be able to regulate, like, when it's the high and the, you know, the times of
Right.
using your electricity and water. And what we
The
were
electricity one
told,
I can't speak on, that one
not the electricity, I meant the water.
Even water.
Well, the water electricity was supposed to be like that too, but what we were told at the time, and they're saying if, until we get them all in, you can't use all of that.
Yeah, I think, my opinion is this, so where are you like, can we talk about the numbers you're looking at per meter that on some of the bids you're getting back, or can't we talk about that yet?
Don't,
I mean, I don't know,
has it been put out there yet?
it's gonna be put out as a summer special project position.
All I'm saying is this, I know nothing, let's say it's $100 a meter, times 1,100.
It's expensive.
It's $110,000, guys, to put some meters in. We got people that can do it, it might get done as fast, but I can't see us spending that kind of money, not knowing that we can recoup that money because of the time, you know, getting them done sooner. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and the other part of that, you know, you speak of hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? I would rather invest that money in our well sites.
Yeah.
And making sure that our flow is right. We're
Right.
saying that we're at 54% loss, but we don't know that.
Right.
Because it's old technology.
Right.
So then you might as well just quit the project, because if you're just gonna leave it go on now, it's been almost 8 years. By the time we get these in, they're gonna be obsolete. I'm not saying you should put in the 1,100, but we gotta work on it during the summer and get some of these in. And we've got people who want them in. They're asking to get them in, and we've
Yes.
got nobody to put them in.
So I would ask the, you know,
I can try to figure out how to get
how many can
some
we do a week
return
in house?
on you, as far as the cost of the project and what, you know, what you're looking for is a financial return.
Somewhat.
That-
ROI,
What we're
right.
gonna
And
cost.
don't go
or what's
back
gonna
to the
spend.
city workers and say, how many do we got? Because when it comes summertime, we got the same old song and dance every year, and I'm not saying this isn't true. But they don't have time to do them.
I think.
Then we should have never took the project on.
I think to.
No, we should have never took that on.
I think to spin off yours, it's still a priority. I'm not saying it's not. But at what cost?
Exactly. Just to put them in, not knowing what it's going to do for you, you have to be careful how much money you spend doing that.
Yes.
Right? Like I said,
And
this
it
isn't
should
gonna
be-
be a small number.
It should be
If we
back.
take it outside of.
The numbers
house.
were big when this project started. You should be able to go back maybe and look at, when we started this project, because we had a list of things on there that said the savings we were gonna get, the different, why did, because to sell the project, they had all that in there, so,
They had an ROI, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm certain there's savings. I'll have to figure out for the entirety of the project.
You understand what we're saying,
Yeah, I
right?
understand.
Because you're asking for a big number. If we go out of house, it's gonna be a big number.
But I think you're not gonna get that big number. It's probably gonna be split in 3 years, because how are you gonna you're not gonna get all them in.
I mean, we don't, yeah.
You can, you're right, but it's still a big number, right?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, if it's 3 years, we spend it in 1 year, spend it in 3 years, it's the same dollars,
Right.
right?
Just different budgets.
Yes.
Just different budgets, but we're still gonna spend a lot of money to get those in if we do it outside. And I get it, we can't do them in house, we can't do them in house, but it's a tough yes vote for me, without knowing that it's gonna actually get we're gonna get some of that money back by
Right.
installing them. You know?
Yeah, whether it be labor hours or something to
Exactly.
make up, or being more accurate, yeah, I want a little clarification.
Brock comes back and says, if I get these meters in, I can tell you right now, if we're losing water in our mains, or if we're losing water with the end, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's the kind of stuff we need, right now, nobody knows anything.
Well, a lot of these meters, when they're going in and they're switching them out, they're not hardly working at all.
Well, but that's a whole different, that's,
Because
the
the old
AMI
ones
will
they-
help that, but
Yeah.
any working meter will help that.
Right.
But to Brett's point, and I talked to Public Works the other day about it, if we think our meter at the wellhead isn't accurate, we gotta fix that. And so, that's with the.
That would be number one.
With the infrastructure grant from the county, half of that could be spent there, and that's one of the things we're gonna bring to you guys, because
That was like a $30,000 meter, right? If
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
like
right,
30,
David, when
40,
he told us, like
something
30 or 40 grand.
You know, and I would also like to put into there as well, you know, we start talking water credits, which are coming up quickly.
Yep.
And if that conversation is gonna resurface,
And it's going
It's
to.
already,
you know, so
With
I
me.
look at it as this, right? If we're gonna spend the time to do applications for sewer credits and everything else, let's make it so you can't get one unless you have an AMI.
Brett, I got people coming in the store already saying, I wanna pay for a meter, I want a second meter.
I had people.
What's going on?
Well, I had
I
people
want my
come-
garden back, I want a second
And then
meter.
to me, it's a little bit even more justifiable in a conversation.
I'll pay
of
for it, you know, they're going,
what's
they
going
get
on
it.
there.
Well, and I'm even getting people who have the
That's a
old
good idea.
meters, they want the new meter in.
Right.
well, and I think for the credit policy, the way we had drafted the new way to go about it that you guys looked at, I don't think there's really a need for a second meter. If we follow the policy we kind of set out in that form that you guys looked at, I think it eliminates the major concern of someone using it inappropriately.
Well, and if we have an AMI there, it really starts to eliminate that process,
Right.
right?
Which is great,
Yeah.
better for the taxpayer.
Which is the point
Which
of,
is
one of the points
One
of
of the
having the
points
new
of having it.
meters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, the AMI meters are, it's a bigger benefit than just an ROI financially.
Yes.
You know, that's, certainly I understand why you guys want to see that. We'll
And
try to look
you
at that.
should
kind of
try to
number.
look that, I mean, that was a lot of,
Way before my time, I know that.
8 or 9 years now. But you should go back,
We can look at
because we had a big thing of all the things that it was gonna do and the payback and that kind of stuff.
So that's all my
Yeah,
comments.
and I could be wrong, I mean,
No, that's
maybe it's
good, Brett,
bigger than I
thanks.
thought, but I always looked at it as it's more than just a financial benefit.
Kick the hornet's nest. Say, oh, that's all I have to say.
Jeff?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate thanking the street department again for a great job this weekend, above and beyond the call. Biggest snowfall I can remember in that little time. That was something to behold, I know that. So shout out to all the guys and the gals there at the city that put in that extra effort to get the streets cleaned up and keep us as safe as they could.
Rico?
On September 28th, 1982, 12-year-old girl, Mary Kellerman, was hospitalized after being poisoned by someone who laced a bottle of Tylenol with cyanide. She died the next day. A day later, 6 more people would die from poisoned Tylenol. By October 5th, 1 week later, Johnson & Johnson issued a nationwide recall of 31 million bottles and launched a massive advertising campaign to get people to not consume their products or anything that contained Tylenol. The 82 event inspired a rapid, radical shift in how certain products were sent out, prompting manufacturers to start using tamper-proof packaging. Untold lives have been saved in years since, and everyone can still get their Tylenol. This crisis management was a model, is still a model, on corporate public safety. We know how to rapidly bring about a reduction in school shootings and senseless deaths of children and staff. 6 more people died last week, 3 9-year-olds. It's not happening because organizations want to spend millions and millions of dollars to make sure politicians do not allow those solutions to be implemented. I hear those same politicians complaining about drag queens, marijuana, trans kids, CRT. They're not having locks on the doors. Recently, even a book about the life of Rosa Parks was banned from public school. You want to do something about, or you want to do something to protect our kids, do something about the guns.
My comments are, I want to thank the Public Works. I think they did the best they could with the snow that we got. We might not have got everything cleaned up in a day. Took a ride around on Monday, things were pretty cleaned up considering the amount of snow that we got. They put in a lot of long hours, and I feel like they did a good job. I also want to thank the light department. I know they were out working, people were out of power. some for several hours. I know sometimes it's hard for us to understand when these things happen, because they usually don't happen here. It's just when these things do happen, we've gotta, give our guys a little slack. They're out there doing the best they can do. Yes, they were out there. I got many calls saying nobody's out there. Yes, they were out there, whether they were plowing somewhere you didn't see them or stuck in the ditch, they were there. So I wanna thank, our employees for doing a good job. That's all I have. Dan?
I'm gonna echo that with our public works and our wastewater employees, everyone that was called in during that storm to take care of that snow. It is a very difficult job. They are out there long hours. We had a call on everyone that could drive that didn't even have the most experience pushing snow. They were out there pushing snow. We brought other people in to help haul snow when we had to. When the electric department, like I said, we had a couple 200 people without power. WPA road, county road was unplowed, and they were unable to get to any of the areas they needed to fix the lines. They had two individuals, Tyler Nichols and Ray Hewlett, who volunteered their time throughout that entire storm to plow those areas so that our electric department could get out there and restore power. So big thanks to those two individuals who didn't ask for a thing and went out there and helped those electric guys get that power up and running.
I see, just one thing, I see Asplin's out. Do they got Asplin trimming that line going down to the dam now?
I don't know if they're trimming that specific one, but they are doing all of that.
That one
trimming.
should
I'm
be
assuming
trimmed.
They are.
That's the one they're always complaining about, and they want to do the underground and all that through there.
And just remember too, like during these snowstorms, our facility out there is roads that are plowed by the county, and so we have to plow our way. We had to plow our way to that dam and down that road. So it was a huge effort on all their parts. So yeah, thanks to them, thanks to those two individuals, and hopefully this was the last of the year.
Of many years, let's hope.
Yeah, but that's all.
Oh, one other thing, I think I brought it up to you. When it does get nice, can we get them lines painted over by the school in the crosswalk?
Oh, yes, we
Please.
got, yeah, we'll be
Soon it
doing
gets nice.
lines, all the lines, we're gonna have our Main Street done and get those lines painted then, but yes.
Okay. But even if it's, before the summer help comes, if we could just get them ones over by the school. Grant, do you have anything?
Just echoing the comments from council, and I didn't hear the council make specifically reference on the permit for the sign for the fundraiser for the scholarships for the Norway Women's Club. It's April 15th at 4:30 to 6:30, and that is a scholarship fundraiser for the Norway Vulcan area schools. April 15th from 4:30 to 6:30. That's all, thank you.
If we have nothing else, do I have a motion to
Motion
adjourn?
Support.
Mr. Maggie?
Yes.
Mr. Morrow?
Yes.
Mrs. Booth?
Yes,
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
meeting adjourned.
No executive session, sheesh.
First time for my wife. First time in a while.